Hello, Gary Crowley here with DoItYourselfJointPainRelief.com, and this is a video to show you how to do a subscapularis stretch. Your subscapularis, as you know if you're probably here, is this muscle deep inside your shoulder girdle, hidden between your rib cage and your scapula, your shoulder blade. And for those of you not overly familiar with it, I just want to give you a quick little look at it, or at least where it attaches. Here in this picture here, you can see this is your shoulder blade looking at it from the front. So we've taken your rib cage out of the way here, and this is basically the front side of your shoulder blade. And all this red area is where that subscapularis muscle attaches. And then it comes over here to your humerus, your arm bone, and attaches there. So when this big belly of the muscle flexes, it rotates, it internally rotates this humerus, and again, it's buried between this muscle on the front of your shoulder blade is what we're trying to stretch. So I just wanted to give you a good idea of that so that when we go to do this, you'll know what we're doing. So that muscle basically, if you do motion like this, that muscle's pulling and turning this humerus in. If you do a motion like this, that muscle's pulling that in. If we do a lot of computing, if we do a lot of driving, we do things like that, this muscle that really isn't designed to do a lot of this stuff will get tight over time. So modern living is very hard on your subscapularis. So the way to get in there is, it's a little tricky, but it actually is a stretch that feels really good when you do it right. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you put the palm of your hand basically on the side of your neck, and put your arm out. You want to get maybe stance or maybe your elbow's about 3 inches from the wall. And then I'm going to have you gently, you can use this other hand for support, lean in and reach up as high as you can with that elbow. So now basically the back of the back, it's not the point of my elbow, it's the back of my upper arm is against the wall. And I'm pretty comfortable, I'm pretty stable. But again, you can use this hand for support. And now take this leg, your leg closest to the wall, and sneak it around back a little bit. And you may have to now move your arm over a little. And then start to lean with your body weight in here. And again, adjusting keeping your balance with this other hand. And you will find, especially the more one reason not to do too much of this is the more back you are. Once you get comfortable, if you can put this hand on your hip, you can lean in with your body weight and you just feel this wonderful stretch in there, especially if you're on the computer too much, like I am. And then when you get really loose, again, anytime you want to take a break, you just support yourself here. You can take this hand and put it down the middle of your back and get that really stretched, which is great. So I'll show it to you from the other side. Again, got to be about 3-4 inches from the wall with your head against your neck. You're going to get nice and comfortable here and reach up a little bit. You're going to take this front leg and sneak it around back, and then if you can, scoot over a little, lean in and come out. And if I press out, so I'm almost using that muscle a little bit to come back out, it's just a wonderful stretch. And then as I get looser, I can come all the way in there and do that. So that's basically the stretch, and it's a great stretch, and as long as everything else is free enough for you to do that, it is something you kind of can't do too much of with modern living. Again, computing, driving, just wreak havoc on kind of your subscapularis there. But I want to show you a way to cheat a little bit if that stretch doesn't do everything you were hoping for. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to manually work on this muscle a little bit. And basically what you want to do here is you want to lie on your side, get a decent pillow so that ideally your neck's pretty parallel with the floor. And we're going to do similar thing. Going to put our hand on the side of our neck here. But now we're going to take our fingertips and you're going to find the side of your shoulder blade. Okay, and there's some muscles on that called your teres muscles, but we're not after those right now.
And then if you come in an inch or two and you dig down, you'll feel your rib cage. You'll actually feel ribs there in that little space. So between those ribs and those teres muscles is the meat in your subscapularis sandwich here. And if you just basically press straight back, like I'm pressing back toward that wall, back toward the Soji screens there, press straight back, and then you move your arm a little bit, like so, or like so, because that's what that muscle does. Sometimes this one, where you're actually almost whacking a ball that was, you're kind of whacking it behind you there, is a nice one. You can kind of do that. That's a good one. But the one when you're down here, you're almost lengthening that muscle as hard as you can while you press on any tight, tender spots. Basically, healthy tissue does not hurt when you press on it. So if you're just here nice and relaxed and you dig in there and nothing's tender, your subscapularis probably isn't that tight. But if you have some subscapularis inflammation, or someone told you maybe have a subscapularis tear, but we're not sure, sometimes it's just tight. So you press in here, you'll find this thing's all tight and it hurts everywhere you press. But if you reach over your head a little bit and back and reach and back while you press on those tender spots, it will tell your cerebellum at the top of your brainstem that it needs to recalibrate those settings that it has for that tissue. So, and again, this is just a supplement to that subscapularis stretch, but you'll find if you do both of these, like I can get some spots, like there's one spot right there that my stretch didn't quite get, and there it is, if I kind of do that gets it. And this gets some deep stuff back there that stretch didn't get, because my fingers can dig right on that muscle. And so again, teres major and minor muscle on the side of that shoulder blade. Come in, find those ribs, right on those ribs, no muscles in the way there. And then between that is that subscap. And you start with it nice and relaxed because you got your hand on your palm on your neck. But then start playing around. Like, that's a great move for that section of my subscapularis. This might do some stuff for you, but again, I like that one. And I really like reaching almost back over my head, because that really opens things up. I can really get in there and dig out some of that subscapularis tension. So, that is basically how to stretch your subscapularis and how to manually release it. If you do both of them, you can free yourself from a lot of pain. If you ever have pain, basically at the intersection of your shoulder and neck, a lot of times it's your subscapularis that's kind of yanking on this levator muscle. And if you get in here, you release your subscap and maybe your teres major and minor on the side a little bit. That pain will just go away. And again, computing, driving, wreak havoc on this whole area. So I hope that those stretches are useful. I hope the manual manipulation is useful. And thank you for your time. And I look forward to hearing how it goes. Thanks.